Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar, a special webinar, special subject webinar on studying electrical engineering in Germany. And as you know already, doing this kind of subject webinars, thankfully, I'm not alone. We have several guests from different German universities, and they will present their programs very soon. But first, bear with me a little bit. For those who do not know what to expect, so how to use this kind of webinar setting of Zoom, first and foremost, take a look at the bottom part of your Zoom interface. There you'll see the Q&A button. This is the key button for the next 1 hour or so to say. So you can communicate with us through this Q&A. You can send in your questions, any questions related to the program or studying in Germany, and then we'll get back to them either in the written form immediately, or we'll answer these questions during our live Q&A session, so which will start in around 45 minutes, so to say, and then our guests will be answering your questions live. Also keep an eye on the chat, because we will be also sending some information in the chat as well. Let me now start with my short presentation. So studying electrical engineering in Germany, and as I said, we have two guests from German universities. So our first guest is from Dresden International University, it's Daniela Palku, and she will talk about Master of Science level program in Industrial Management in Microelectronics. And then we are moving to University of Magdeburg, and it's Professor Dr. André Strittmatter, and he will talk about Master of Science level program in Advanced Semiconductor Nanotechnologies. So before we move to this most interesting part of our today's evening or afternoon, let me tell you who is behind today's webinar. So it is My German University, and we are Germany's largest database when it comes to English taught study programs. When you visit our webpage, which stands at mygermanuniversity.com, you will be able to find over 2,600 degree programs, both on bachelor level and also master's level. And also we have some short courses and language courses. And all of the programs that we have there are at least mostly taught in English, and most of them are fully in English, which means that you don't need any knowledge of German to get into these programs and then successfully complete them. So our main goal is to help international students on their way towards studying in Germany, and we make a use of three key ways to do so to say. The first way is our study finder. You can see a small version of it now in front of your screens, but when you visit our webpage and you go to the study finder section, you will be able to see the full version of our study finder with all of its filters. So you can find the programs according to the city, according to the, of course, a discipline, according to the field, according to whether it's using UniAssist or not, according even to your English language score, and even more. So my strong suggestion would be make a good use of study finder. It's free. The second way of helping you is through writing up articles. We have various articles, over 150 comprehensive articles on various topics when it comes to studying in Germany. If you're interested in APS, if you're interested in dual programs, in letter of motivation writing, in CV writing, in visa, in blocked account issues, in scholarships, in rankings, and so on, please visit our articles page, our articles section of our page, and then you'll be able to get acquainted and get quite a detailed information about this or that topic. And of course, it's also for free. Last but not least, the third way of helping you is through organizing our webinars. We have around 150 webinars per year on different topics. It can be, for example, scholarships in Germany, UniAssist in Germany, visa, general studying in Germany webinar, all the subject webinars that we are having right now on different subjects. It can be electrical engineering, studying electrical engineering in Germany. It can be studying politics in Germany, business administration in Germany, etc., etc. All of the webinars that are already planned, you can find them again in our webinar section, and you can sign up for them for free and attend them, of course, for free. My suggestion also would be you to open an account on our webpage. By that, you'll be able to unlock all of the options that we are able to offer you, and opening an account and maintaining the account is also for free. Regarding our team, we are based in Hamburg in northern Germany, but we are all over Germany and also all over the world, and we are quite international team, and we are constantly in different languages, and you can see some of them also listed in front of your screens. So for those students who are also interested in German taught study programs, my suggestion would be also to check Hochschulkompass. There you might find some interesting programs regarding to electrical engineering, and mostly they will be in German. But for those who are more into English taught study programs, then my German university and our study finder should definitely be your stop. You will be able to find here lots of programs related to the discipline of electrical engineering, both on bachelor level and master's level. And you can see that most of them are English only. As I explained before, when it's English only, it means that you do not need any knowledge of German to get into these programs and successfully complete them. But of course, keep in mind that knowing German in Germany is always a plus, obviously. For those who are newcomers and do not know what to expect when it comes to studying electrical engineering in Germany, for example, what are the universities that are offering these programs, the rankings of universities, what is the range of tuition fees that you should expect and budget for your visit to Germany for this purpose, or the requirements like language requirements or admission application requirements. It's also a good first step to check out our subject page regarding electrical engineering, and there we provide this kind of general information, the bird eye view, if you like, what does it mean to study this subject in Germany. So you have a bigger picture of that. So regarding our tip, it's always important to not be guided by one sole aspect only when you are searching for the right program for you. Not only rankings, only fees, only city names is not a correct approach. I want to study in Berlin. I want to study in Munich because they are great. I agree, they are great. They have great universities, of course, but Berlin and Munich Germany is not only about that. There are lots of many towns and many great cities in Germany offering high quality education. That's why in order to make sure that you are aware of all of the opportunities that Germany is able to offer you, you have to take these aspects and even more during your search of the right program. Also, what I wanted to tell you is that in Germany, there are two key types of universities: Universität type of university and University of Applied Sciences. In Germany, it can have some different variations on namings. What I want you to know is that the key difference lies more in focus. For example, in case of Universität type of university, generally focus goes more into research and theory. And in case of the University of Applied Sciences, the focus generally usually goes into application and practice. So this is the key difference. If you're interested in more differences, please let me know via email and I will try to explain you. And last but not least, in addition to all aspects that I mentioned before that are important to take into account while you are searching for the right program, also when you're finding the programs through our study finder, please be more flexible with wordings. Don't be too strict. And when you combine this suggestion with the previous aspects, then you'll make sure that you are aware of all of the opportunities that Germany is able to offer you in this regard, and then you can make an informed decision, which is crucial from my perspective for your future successful career. All right, with that being said, let us move now to the interesting part. As I already promised, we are moving now to Dresden International University, and you can see where it is located. It's in eastern part of Germany. And then we have Daniela Palku. I already introduced her, and she will now talk about master's level program in industrial management and microelectronics. So,
okay, warm welcome from my perspective from Dresden International University. My name is Daniela, as Georgi already introduced. We are a private university located in Dresden in Eastern Germany. And I just want to give you a brief overview today of our master's program, Industrial Management and Microelectronics, which is an international study course only taught in English. So what are we going to have a look on today for the next 15, 16, 17 minutes? I just want to give you first a brief overview of the city of Dresden, because it's not as well known as Berlin or Munich. And many students just don't focus on this city because it's smaller. And I just want to give you an overview what it all offers, what we have of interesting companies, interesting perspectives for students, so that you get a brief overview of that. After this, I'm just going to introduce Dresden International University, who we are, what we're doing, and then we're going to go on with the master's course, the advantages, what it is about, and how you can apply. So first of all, a small video about living and working and studying in Dresden, so that you get a brief overview. So just a short overview, what the city offers, as you could see, is just a good mixture of good conditions for private life and for living, as well as for studying and working. So I'm gonna present to you the most important things about Dresden. So we have more than 5,000 international students and scientists in our city. Exceptional because of the Technical University of Dresden, which is very big and very well-known university all around the world. We have a very good quality of life, so you can combine your private life and your study life and working experiences all in one. And compared to other cities in Germany, we have comparatively really low costs of living. So if you compare a rental for a flat in Dresden and, for example, in Munich, ours is just it's just much lower, and that is a good, especially for students and for student life. As you are interested in the study course of microelectronics, Dresden offers a lot of science and research centers, technology centers in Dresden. So we have a lot of Fraunhofer, Leibniz, or Max Planck institutes, as you can see. So this is interesting for you, especially when you want to do an internship or when you want to gain work experience besides your studies. You can just, or you have a wide range of opportunities and companies you can work with. Also, if you want to stay in Germany after your studies, they just are always looking for well-trained students and well-trained employees. So this is just a map. You can see that just the range of companies in Dresden is just very, very high, and they are settled in the city and around. So as I said, good job opportunities for you in the city. As a student in Germany, you are allowed to work up to 20 hours a week, and we are having cooperations with a lot of those big companies like Infineon or Global Foundries, so that we can just arrange an internship or a job opportunity for you. Just a small overview over Dresden International University. We were established in 2003. We are located in World Trade Center, which is in the heart of Dresden. This is where our study rooms are, where our lecture halls are, and you have just a very good way of getting there. There are trams and trains around it, so you can just very good reach the university. We have around 2,000 students. That's the number that is very current, and 30% of them are international students from all around the world. Just some photos of our campus. You can see the lecture hall, the big one for up to 100 students, and the smaller lecture rooms. Our team for the study course at DU, I'm just here today because my colleague Caroline is on vacation, so happy for her. That's why I'm not on this chart. So Caroline Heller is the study advisor for this study program. So if you have any questions after this presentation, or you want to hand in your application, or just want us to have a look on it, then you can just email her. She's the first contact person to the email studyadvisory@d-uni.de. And Britt, she is just for the international office. So when you are a student then finally and you have any questions, she's always there for you, and she helps you to solve all of your problems. And Professor Lasch and Professor Gerlach are the two academic advisors of this program. And if you have questions regarding the models, the different the content of this study program really in detail, then you can just also send me an email afterwards, and I will just get you in contact with them, so they are the really experts in this field. So what's this master course about? We have the next intake in November this year, so 6th November is the welcome day of the winter intake, followed by 2 months of German language class. This is also included in this course. And then the first and second semester will start in January next year. And you have from January to November lectures and examinations. And then the beginning of 2025, you have the master thesis. And you have the opportunity to also do an internship or a holiday semester, so that the study is 4 semesters in total. If you want to take a break, you will still be a student, you will still stay a student and then go on your studies. Just some facts about the course and how you can send your application, how you can apply. For this master degree, you need a bachelor's degree, 4 years degree, not just 3 years. You need 4 years of study with 240 credit points in one of those fields or something similar: electrical engineering, automation, physics, IT, or something similar to that. We will just check on your qualification then. Average grades of minimum 70%. Specific knowledge in English, because the master's course is only taught in English, and minimum of 1 year work experience. As we are a private university, we have certain tuition fees for this program. So this year we have a special offer because we are celebrating 20 years of Dresden International University. And that's why we have a special birthday offer, and the tuition fee is just 10,710 in total for the whole master's program. So which is nearly half of the normal price. Yes, we always start in autumn, as I already said. The course has 60 credit points in total and 8 modules, including the master thesis. You can see an overview here over the topics of the different modules. And yeah, you also get, as I already said, the German course on top. And the it's a full-time master. That means you study Monday to Friday from the morning to the afternoon. And 18 months is the time in total. Yes, what is important for, when you come from abroad, you have to pay the tuition fee in advance for 2 semesters. That means for the first study year. And if you need any kind of scholarship, or if you need any support with financing the course, you have a brief overview of all the scholarships that are available on the German Academic Exchange Service, DAAD, and you can just have a look there, or you can just always ask us, and we will support you with all of your questions. So just that you get a small overview what living costs are about. That's always calculated by the BAföG, which is the student support, the national student support. So accommodation is between 280 and 550 euros per month. Then you have health insurance, transport service, which is included in the semester ticket, and other living expenses, so for food, clothing, etc., between 300 and 400. So you have living costs or expenses under 1,000 euros per month. And for the visa, you have to store the first year on a blocked account. That's what Georgi also said at the beginning. What do we offer for you besides the study course? For us, it's very important to always be a helping hand for our students and to support you wherever we can. So we help you with accommodation, opening a bank account, or getting a health insurance. But we also give you perspectives for career development. We connect you with other international students. We have an alumni network where you can just really be part of this university, and you can just talk to other international students and just feel yourself really at home at our university. And yes, we always try to support you with all the small problems that may occur. So just to sum it up, finally, why should you choose this study course at Dresden International University? We have excellent professors at our university, a high range of practical teaching. That means you get in contact with the companies, you have trips to the companies to get to know them. Our groups are very small, so maximum 25 students, mostly like 20, so that you can always get in contact with the professors and ask all your questions. And yeah, we offer network events, community days, field trips for our international students. And you can use many of the benefits of the Technical University of Dresden. So just finally, as I said before, if you want to send us any questions, or if you want us to check on your application or whatever, just write us an email to studyadvisory@d-uni.de, or visit our website where you can find a lot more information on this course. And we will always be happy to help you and to support you. Thanks a lot.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Daniela, for your presentation. And yeah, dear attendees, also you can find the email in the chat in case you need any question. You have any questions. So let us now move to our next speaker before we start with our Q&A. So let me once again introduce to you Professor Dr. André Strittmatter, and we are moving to Magdeburg now, to University of Magdeburg. And Professor will talk about master level program in advanced semiconductor nanotechnologies. Professor, now the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Georgi, and hello, everyone. I'm going to talk about this new study program that we implemented at the University of Magdeburg. Let me just put it up here. Okay, the university, the Otto von Guericke University of Magdeburg, is located about 100 kilometers west of Berlin. So there's the largest international airport in the environment. And this new study program we have been built since Intel, that international global player, plans to build a huge fab nearby Magdeburg. And this company seeks for a lot of talents. And we are certainly one university that can supply talents. So we implemented a cross-faculty interdisciplinary study program to prepare students for this kind of high-tech industry. So it's not only Intel, we have in Germany different other players like Infineon, GlobalFoundries, Osram. Soon TSMC will be in Dresden, ASML is in Berlin, Coherent is nearby. So all these companies are working with very, very advanced technology, machines, equipment, characterization equipment. So you really need a Master of Science for that. And that study program is devoted to bring you the knowledge that you need to work in these industries. And this is a 2 years program that starts the first time this fall. And it will have a capacity of only 40 students. And the reason for that is that this study program has a lab course that takes place in an advanced clean room environment where you really work on similar equipment as in these fabs, and you are learning how to make semiconductor devices at a scale of micrometer or below. So since this capacity is limited, we have an admission through a selection procedure, and I will present the details of it a little bit later. So for those of you interested, you need a Bachelor of Science in Engineering Sciences. Electrical engineering or physics are the most preferable one, but also chemistry is a good one. And those that are related, so a Bachelor of Science in Nanotechnology is something, but others could be good as well. We will evaluate that, but nobody of you is excluded as long it is a Bachelor of Science in an engineering study program. We require an English certificate on a C1 level. Currently, we have the point grade for IETS between 6 and 7. And as I told you, you have a very good job perspective in the semiconductor industry, but also in other related fields. That's our program. At the beginning, we have something that is called entrance harmonization, where we try to close the gaps between the different bachelor science levels. So some of you might have had electronics, but not quantum physics. Others might have had chemistry, but not electronics. So we will judge that on your certificates. And you need that to then follow up the semiconductor physics courses and the semiconductor engineering. There you have advanced courses on integrated circuits, semiconductor process technologies, and characterization methods. That all brings you into a level that you can master this clean room lab course, which is block 1. So it is done within 1 week, and you will process a device, a transistor, and you will characterize that transistor. Some special thing that was advised from Intiv to us to include machine learning. So that is part of the informatics education. And of course, in our master program, there's some general education courses like academic skills development, where you learn how to present scientific things to your colleagues. The introduction to research is some preparatory course before the master thesis will start. For the master thesis, you will have a time frame of 6 months, and that will be done in different connected faculties of natural sciences, electrical engineering, or process and systems engineering, or the informatics, whatever you like most. Yeah. And you can specialize yourself by choosing from some electable courses, either in basic semiconductor research or in applied semiconductor research, or in this artificial intelligence. So the admission process is outlined here in a very short way. So as I said, Bachelor of Science is something that counts. It can give you up to 40 points if it is one in electrical engineering or physics. If it is from chemistry or nanotechnology, you will get 30 points. If it's not in any of these areas, but an engineering degree, you might get some points as well. Then the total grade of your bachelor certificate will count. If it is better than 1.5, the note, according to the European standards, it will earn you 40 points, and then stepwise 30 to 20 points. There will be prospectively next year a admission threshold that your grade must be better than 2.5. That's that will be an adjustment that we have to do. The English language, as I said, the TOEFL C1 level or B2 level is required. And we also want to have a motivation letter that explains to us why you choose that study program. That will be refereed by 2 independent people, and it can get you up to 10 points. And another 10 points can be awarded to you to that admission process scheme if you have passed courses in basic electronic circuits or basics of chemistry or quantum physics. So that in total has a maximum of 100 points. That gives you a ranking, and the first 40 people with the most points will be admitted to the program. That's the summary that's probably not of interest to you. So why should you study that program? As I said before, but maybe a bit more to that, it's not only Germany, but all over Europe, we are increasing the effort to build up a sustainable chip industry. There will be billions of euros going into establishing a network of fabs into different areas. And in every one of these fabs, wherever they are located, you will need skills that can only be learned in a clean room environment, where all the machines operate quite differently than in, let's say, automotive industry or some other stuff. So what you learn here is to work with very delicate equipment that has to be managed every day, adjusted every day to ensure that the yield of these machines is always at the highest level. And Intel, as our partner in that program, is certainly one of the leading international companies. So the perspective for a job after this master course is very high. So that is, in a nutshell, what I would like to tell you for the moment, but I'm open for questions. Just one little other thing. All that has been presented for Dresden is very similar. It can be said to Magdeburg as well concerning the living cost. And it's also located at the same river, the Elbe. Although I admit that Dresden, to my opinion, is a little bit nicer, but Magdeburg is older. So anyway, that shouldn't count for your decision. I'm happy to answer all the questions that you might have.
So thank you very much, Professor. So if you are more for the beauty, go to Dresden. For the olderness, go to Magdeburg. That's a joke. That's the joke. Don't take it into account, dear attendees. Now let us move to the Q&A session. Actually, we have several questions for both speakers, so let's don't spend time on other things. So first question for Daniela. Daniela, how intensive is the German language class, and what is the language level that we are supposed to reach?
There is a test at the beginning. When you arrive here in Germany, you are just doing a brief test of your current level of German. So if there is one, we also have students that have already had German courses in their home countries, and then you will be rated, and then you do the course that is just for your current level. So if you have current A1, then you go to A1. And if you have C1, then you go to C1. So that's just, you will just be tested, and then we give you the level that you have and the course that you need to just gain more knowledge in the German language.
Okay, clear. Thank you. Thank you, Daniela. Then, Professor, there was a question which you actually asked. Samuel, you were too quick to ask this question. So, because someone was asking what are the most significant criteria that you take into account during the selection procedure. So you basically mentioned, but if you would like to once again, just to underline this.
Yeah, point-wise, it is clear that we value most the Bachelor of Science study program that has been successfully passed and the average grade that you got. But because we try to keep it open to different engineering Bachelor of Sciences, we implemented these motivation letter and the specific courses and to give a chance to add some points. And we just had the first round of admission process, and all I can tell you is that this motivation letter and the specific courses really can help you to get over that threshold.
Yeah, perfect. Fair enough. Thank you. And dear attendees, Professor at one point mentioned that it will be 2.5 threshold in the future, 2.5 according to the German system, dear attendees. And in the link, I also put in the chat the link to the German GPA calculator, because in Germany, things are a bit different when it comes to GPA. So if you have 4.0 in your country, it is great. In Germany, 4.0, don't do that. You don't need that. In Germany, 1.0 is the highest one. So, but yeah, you use this calculator to put yourself into the perspective. And as the letter of motivation was mentioned, let me now go to the question for Daniela, because there was a question, if there are any specific expectations when it comes to the letter of motivation in Dresden.
No, they're not. So we just want to see why you want to study this, what's your motivation for it, what you want to, or which goals you have in the future with this study course when you just have the degree. So just to get to know you a little bit and to get to know your motivation. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And I've just also received a question regarding general question for the tips and for the motivation letter. Professor, would you also maybe add some 1-2 tips in case of Magdeburg?
Yeah, well, the most important thing to me is that you really focus on this specific course. I have seen applications that send in letters for different universities. That is not a good strategy. So and also you should relate your motivation letter to the content of the course. What makes it special to you? What is it is not a good idea to tell me stories how your former life had a specific moment that changed to semiconductor engineering. This is not a good idea. And it is just a general thing. And take a look at the content of the courses, find out what is specific to that study program, and tell us what you like about the program.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Professor. And I also provide these kind of suggestions in our articles. Dear attendees, there are some articles for you where you can find some inspirations of how to correctly write and not to make these mistakes that Professor has just mentioned during your letter of motivation writing. Of course, then we can move now to the next question. It's for Daniela. And what if I have 180 ECTS? Can I still apply for Dresden?
Unfortunately not. So because we have 240 as the limit that you need.
Yeah, good to know still. Thanks, Daniela. Now question for Professor. Hello, should I demonstrate laboratory experience in my previous degree?
Not necessarily, but if you have, you can mention that in your motivation letter. That's always fine.
Yeah, fair enough. Thanks. So a question for Daniela again. Hello, if someone has 65 to 70% of marks and their IELTS band is 6.5 to 7.0, is there any acceptance chances of admission?
There's always a chance. So if your application is really extraordinary and you can just show us that you are the right candidate for this program, I would always apply. I would always give it a try. Our limit is 70%, as I mentioned. So it was 75 in the past. So we just now settled 70 just to give the chance to more applicants, but yes, give it a try. Yeah.
Fair enough. Thanks. So this is a question for Professor. What about the university life in terms of conferences, trainings? Are there any additional extracurricular activities where we can, for example, present our projects?
There are well, this is very new, but to give you an impression what will be probably 1 year from now installed at the university, Intel is very interested in having a competition between the students for a poster award or something like that, or a project award. So that is going to happen. But at the moment, we don't have that specifically designed for that study course. Yeah. There are no internal conferences in that way, because our approach is always during the master's thesis, if you will be working on actual research themes, and if the results are very good, you will be at an international conference probably.
Okay, clear. Thank you, Professor. Daniela, I'm coming back to you. Is the residence program an NC program? How many students do you accept per intake?
Because of the 70% degree that you need, it is like an NC program. And we accept maximum 25 students.
Okay. Clear. Thank you. And let me stay with you, Daniela. If the payment is done in installments, does it add on the price?
No, it doesn't. The price is fixed. It's the 10,710 for the whole course, which includes also the German language course. And it doesn't matter how you pay. There will be several payment options. We are just working on that. It will change a little bit because we changed our structure, but it does not add on the price.
Okay, clear. Now the question is for both speakers. And let me start with you, Professor Strittmatter, for both speakers. So is there any TOEFL or IELTS waiver?
Can be. We have an option. If you don't have an IELTS or TOEFL certificate, but you have maybe a long-term school background in English, you can just mention that in your application and we will check that. Okay.
And this, just a follow-up question, this experience should be in English-speaking country or doesn't matter?
Okay, that reminds me about another option. If you have your Bachelor of Science degree in an English course, that is also a qualification. An English study program, I must say. Yeah. And there are certainly some native English-speaking countries that we accept as well, but not all of them.
Okay, clear. What about you, Daniela?
For us, it's mandatory, so you really need it. Yeah.
Okay. So again, for both, question from Laura and Daniela, let me start with you. Do you conduct also any interviews?
In this course, we don't. So if you really want it, we can arrange it, but it's not part of the application process.
Yeah. I don't think that someone will want it.
I don't know. Maybe you want to get to know.
Maybe they want,
the academic advisor. I don't know.
Yeah, true. Maybe they want to add something that they could not in letter motivation. Yeah, makes sense. Professor, what about you?
Well, the same. We do not plan for interviews, but it could be an option for instance, to check on the English abilities. So in such cases, it might be arranged, but usually we are confident that we can check that from the paper.
Okay. Thanks. Then the question is, these are the general questions, maybe for this one. Dear Professor, do you require specific prerequisite courses or an amount of ECTS in some classes if my degree is in chemistry?
As I said, chemistry is fine. We consider that as an engineering, a closely related engineering Bachelor of Science. And as I have shown, we have these entrance harmonization courses. So you would take then probably a course in electronic circuits and quantum physics to get you on the same page as the other students. And we do not count the specific points there. We just judge it from the average grade and do our selection process.
Okay. Mikhail has a question. Can HND holder be accepted for bachelor or master's degree? So this is a general question, I suppose. And Mikhail, I think that with NHD, it's like a high school diploma, kind of higher national diploma, which is a kind of, for the most of it should be for bachelor level, I think. But we here have master's degree. We're talking master's degree. And then you need a bachelor's level, at least equivalent for that. But for a batch, if you want to apply for bachelor's level, it's very specific from program to program. I would like to suggest you first to check out which bachelor program you want to apply to, and then check whether this HND will work there. So Laura has one more question for both speakers. What about housing in terms of dormitories? Do you have any your dormitories yourself, the universities, or how you would suggest students to find dormitories? Maybe let's start with Dresden.
We do not have houses or that are especially for our students. So we have a cooperation with the Technical University, and they have some, so we can get in touch with them to find an accommodation for you. And we have our special, our colleague Britt, which I just introduced briefly, and she is getting in touch with you according all of those topics like accommodation, insurance, and all of this. So she has the contacts also in the city, and she will just find an accommodation with you together.
Perfect, clear, thank you. And Professor, in case of Magdeburg?
Yeah, we have both. We have an apartment building and some dormitories. I'm not quite sure how is the connection arranged with the university, but if I remember correctly, there is a department that handles all these things, so that you probably find on the university homepage. But we have some, yeah.
Yep, thank you. Sorry to ask again, the specialization was possible, right? Is a question for both? Let me take it for both. Daniela?
We have no specialization in the course. I think that was for Magdeburg. I saw that in the presentation.
Yeah. Well, specialization, I mean, you can choose where you do your master's thesis, in which area. That can be basic semiconductor device research, or in the characterization, or in this artificial intelligence scheme. So there you can follow your preferences. Yeah.
Okay, Professor, let me stay with you. There's another background related question. I have a master's degree in electrical engineering, major in communication system. Can I get admissions again in Master of Science level program in electrical engineering in automation and AI? Not exactly to this current program, the question is, but
yeah, I don't know. I think it's possible, but we will make the admission process, the selection process, based on your Bachelor of Science degree. Your Master of Science degree may spare you some of the courses that we have, so you can apply for a waiver for some specific courses like advanced electronic circuits if you have had that in the master course already. But more than that, I cannot tell you.
Yeah. So, and again, if you, when we are talking about specific master's degree in specific field, all of the master's degrees, they have some specifics different from each other. So my suggestion would be first to establish which university, which program it is, and then act accordingly, according to the requirements that they have, because the requirements are different, and you can see also based on the example of these two universities and these programs. All right, so I think that we addressed all of the questions that we needed to address. either in presentation or now during the live Q&A. And I would like to thank our guests for being with us, for wonderful presentations, also for answering the questions very comprehensively, I would like to say. And dear attendees, of course, thanks you also for joining and for your questions. If you have more questions relating to one program or to another program, the contact details are in the chat. You can get in touch with them for further information, as they already told you. For any follow-up questions, please feel free. If you have any general questions regarding studying in Germany, always get in touch with us. We are also happy to help you. And yeah, if you would like to leave any feedback for us for today's webinar, please feel free to do so through our channels. Once again, thanks everyone for joining, and I wish you a very nice rest of the day.